When it comes to classic games, one of the best that come to mind is The Legend of Zelda. It's had plenty of sequels and even some imitations, but the original stands the test of time as being one of the best and most influential games ever created. One of the best games that follows this old school formula, and the game we're going to be checking out today, is 3D Dot Game Heroes. The story of this game is classic. A long time ago, a dark evil was trying to take over the land and... whoops. Sorry, footage from the wrong game. This is gonna happen a lot, just sorry. Anyway, the evil king captured 6 guardians and it was up to the hero to step forward and save them. With the power of the hero and the 6 sages, they were able to seal away the evil and... oh my god, again! After sealing away the evil king into the Dark Orb, this individual was hailed as the hero of Dotnia, and his story was told for the ages. The story faded off into myth, and eventually, the visitors also started dwindling away. The king noticed and wanted answers, but in time, he found that people had lost interest in 2D worlds, so he decided to change everything into 3D. As amazing as this was, it was also met with grim news. The Dark Orb was stolen by a bishop who wanted to bring back the evil king. You play as a descendant of this hero who is summoned by the king and are given a sword to protect you against the dangers of the world around you. That line, it's not even, it's straight up taken from the first Zelda game. It's not even like inspired. That is almost a word for word remake of it. Good game though, still. It's a good game. You should check it out. Please, do it. Should. You travel around Dotnia Kingdom to find the 6 sages, gather the 6 magic orbs and form the Light Orb, and eventually ascend the Dark Tower to defeat the boss and become a hero just like your ancestor before you. On top of its story, it pays great homage to old school gameplay as well. It pays an insane amount of tribute to the first Legend of Zelda, with minor elements borrowed from A Link to the Past. You stab forward, but you can also swing your sword around, which helps against hordes of enemies, kinda. And when you have full health, you get a little something extra. You get a huge variety of different swords that can be enhanced at the blacksmith to increase length, width, damage, and more. Most swords have a certain maximum upgrade that can be reached. The exception that comes to mind is the Giga Sword, which has no limit, and if you upgrade it all the way, you earn a gold trophy for the game. Next you have your typical adventuring weapons, like a boomerang, bombs, hookshots, bows and arrows, lanterns, and more. They're used for exploring the overworld and using them to discover new areas that can be reached throughout the game. You find these items throughout the dungeons you adventure in, and once you beat these dungeons, you also get a magic power from each sage which can reflect enemy spells, freeze bad guys, or slow down time. Needless to say, its gameplay is a great throwback to old school gaming. On top of the main quest and the standard gameplay, the game also has a ton of additional side stuff like mini-games, side quests, and additional content and quirks just to keep you interested longer. Some side stuff includes dash racing, a breakout style mini-game, and a tower defense game. They act as fun distractions but can also get you extra goodies if you play them. There's also a giant trade mini-quest game similar to the one in Link's Awakening or the Oracle of Ages or Seasons games. There's also a bestiary that can be filled up, And there's also another side mission that, if you unfortunately miss after completing Dungeon 6, you don't have a second chance at doing this again. I won't spoil what this one is though. For those looking for fun quirks throughout the game, there's plenty of funny dialogue from NPCs that'll keep you laughing. I love the way you can say no to some questions and they completely disrupt the story, like, dude, come on, you need to say yes, like, seriously dude, come on. This game also had a surprising amount of innuendos that were very funny. Let's take a look at the commercial that made me want to purchase this game. That was very funny, but there's also a number of instances, like I said, that are throughout the course of the game. So, on top of that one, let's take a look at some of the others. That was rather inappropriate. I wonder what this game is rated. Wow, it's rather inappropriate for an E10 game. No one wants to be entertained by this smut anymore. You want to be entertained by me. Well, I have good news for you. And that's where I come in. For those looking for more humor at your own expense, if you name your character Spelunker, spelled below exactly, critical characters like the King of the Sages actually make fun of you and ridicule you. And last, for those looking for a challenge, if you select the From mode, which is an option in the game, it makes everything one-hit deaths. Who would make this ludicrously unfair difficulty? Well, let's take a look. Yep, they helped make this game, so the mode of relentless difficulty is tradition for them. So overall, if you're looking for a fun challenge or a step back to classic games like that, with its insane difficulty, this may be something you'll want to grab. As far as the graphics go, in my opinion, the game looks very nice. The whole thing is in 3D cubes. However, the art style is not like The Legend of Zelda, it's more reminiscent of the original Dragon Warrior game. The blocks do a great job at forming everything around you, like the trees, the sand, and the water, and the attention to detail is awesome when you destroy an enemy and you have the option to just kind of kick the blocks around you for a short period of time. Even though the graphics were simple in style, the environments felt unique and were just very fun to explore. The music as well stayed very faithful to old school games, sometimes changing based on area, dungeon, or exploring and whatnot, and decent boss music, which gave you a slight rush. The music overall was really delightful, however there really wasn't a track that I can think of that kind of stepped out and stole the show. Overall, it was a very nice tribute to old school 8-bit and 16-bit games. The game overall was extremely enjoyable because it was a lot like older games that I grew up with, but because of it, it had a little less originality, so I don't believe it's as memorable as some of those older games. The art style was really cute, however, being it was so childish looking, I feel it kind of scared off a lot of potential fans, but given what it was trying to do, this is forgivable. Another thing is that, unlike the first Legend of Zelda, which pretty much gave you pure freedom to do whatever you wanted, this game had a little more of a set path, similar to A Link to the Past. For a world map as small as this one, showing you where all the temples are and everything, I don't feel was totally needed. Last, I can say is the lack of a deeper story and better developed characters, which for me was a letdown. Most older games really didn't have this all the time, so it is forgivable, it's just something I personally enjoy experiencing in games. Overall, this is a really fun game, so if you're looking for something simple to pick up and play, a ruthless challenge, or a fun blend of current games along with games of the past, this is something you may want to check out. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Questions or comments, you can leave something below or contact me by any of the information listed in the description, and if you want to subscribe for future videos. Hope you enjoyed everything, and we'll hopefully see you next time. And as always, thanks for watching.